Alright, what's up everybody? It's Lids, and we're back for some more Pyre Community RITE Night, which means, of course, some good old-fashioned multiplayer Pyre featuring, first and foremost, none other than the members of the RITE Club Discord server, the place for all things multiplayer Pyre. And if you're interested in getting more involved in multiplayer Pyre, that is the place to be. You can join by clicking on that link right there. But those of you in chat, you are not off the hook. No, because you see the red circle with the white L below chat. You click on that, you'll find all various requests that you can make today, including things ranging from selecting players' exiles, mastery, songs, arenas, even Titan stars are all fair game. So, without further ado, let's hop into versus mode here, set ourselves back to our defaults, and we will get things started. And I'm feeling pretty good today. I mean, we've talked about it the past several weeks, but I'd blown out my voice for a while, and it was a very slow road back, but starting to feel a fair bit better. Little concerned about, overcommitting to, well, I don't want to oversell it, I guess. Nor do I want to jinx it, so knock on wood, but feeling pretty good today. And not to mention, of course, this is our first RITE Night after having heard about the latest and greatest Supergiant games that is to be released in the coming year or so, that being Hades 2. So that is definitely good to hear that there's more Supergiant stuff coming down the pike in the near future, and it's the first sequel that Supergiant will have made. And so, hey, saw some people talk about it in chat. You know, maybe that means that someday in the future, we might eventually see a Pyre 2, but we'll see. We shall see. And I mean, in the grand scheme of things, in general, I think whenever there's a new game by a developer, assuming that it gets attention and that attention is positive and it's well received, then that naturally makes people inclined to go seek out what the other games are that developer has made. And so hopefully, as it seems was the case with Hades 2, I would, assuming that goes well, hope that means that will also bring another round of new players who end up searching out and finding Pyre and realizing, hey, this is a pretty good game too. And Failer's good to go. Let me know, chat, if there's anyone else who would like to get started. Sounds like Core you are as well? Failer and Core, if I'm not mistaken. Let me get you guys in here then. Let's see. Core is showing up. Failer, not yet. Not yet. Of course, in the meantime, as we're waiting to get these two in here, chat, let us know if there's anything you'd like to see for the first one, and let's thrash the packs. Getting things started on a high note, I can see. Alright, has Failer appeared on Steam yet? You are asking yourself. And the answer to that question is no. Oh, North shoots and Exiles as well, okay. Perhaps a lot of things for this first one. Well, I mean, it makes sense, right? If it's gonna be Thrash Pack, you have to have Barker. Oh, and the other thing that I forgot to do, let me hop into and actually join said Discord group. Hey guys, how's it going?
Good.
Nice. Let's see, there is Failer. Now he's showing up. Failer, I don't know what it is, but pretty consistently, whenever I first open up Steam Friends, your name does not show up for some reason. I don't know if Steam doesn't like you, or do you just not always 24/7 have Steam running in your background?
Surprisingly, no, I don't always 24/7 have Steam running in the background.
Barker's birthday is tomorrow. Or for those of you who are slightly ahead in time zones, might have just started. So, okay. I see. And it looks like, reading into this, Failer is player 1 and Core. Oh, okay, no, sticking with Pyre Hearts, or are you switching it up? Chastity today?
Yeah, I'm player 1.
Okay.
I don't know what Core wants to be. I just gave him whatever.
Okay, I'll just be Pirates.
Okay, I mean, whatever you prefer. Just looked for a second there like you were lingering on some other stuff.
Well, that was Failure doing that, so...
Oh, I see. I see. There we are. Barker totally would watch the World Cup. Not gonna lie, if I'd gotten my voice back a little more quickly, I would have been interested in trying to roughly line up a Pyre tournament with the World Cup. So I feel like that would have been a lot of fun. Probably too late to make that happen now, as... Let's see, they're on the... They just finished the quarterfinal. They're on to the semifinal. Actually, what is the date of the final? Is it next weekend? Or is it later than that? Let me double check. World Cup. Brackets. Final is Sunday, December 18th, so it would be next weekend. I don't know, guys. That actually does bring up another question that I have that we can maybe put on the back burner, but next weekend is the 18th on our usual day. That's probably all fine and dandy, but after that, Christmas Day is the day of RITE Night, and I don't know if that's something that we are still feeling like we would do.
People are going to be too busy, I think, on Christmas Day for a RITE Night.
Yeah,
Probably.
I probably will not be available unless we were to put it at a different time. So just getting that on people's radar that there's probably going to be either a week off for Christmas, or we might maybe try to move it to a different time. I don't know. We'll get talking about that and probably talk about it in the RITE Club Discord server. But anyways, let's get started. So we have Thrash Pack and Barker is what we're looking for this one. Right, there's always the Failer would like to watch your broadcast, exactly. Oh, wait, he's still... Oh! And he did it this time, too. You're right. Okay, I'll get rid of it in a second.
Heed the summons to the nest of Trieste. You have this opportunity to prove your worth. Try not to let the pressure get to you. The fate stand ready. Higher heart stand ready.
All right, so we'll have Barker, but 1 second, as I do need to get rid of Failer's little thingamabob that popped up. Okay. There we go. Now it should be gone. Yeah, that's the other thing that makes it a little tricky is, like, for me, RITE Night starts at 3:30 p.m., which is right in the middle of the day. And especially if, you know, we're having a 3-ish hour RITE Night or however long, then, you know, that's probably not very feasible on a major holiday. Whereas for those who are in a different time zone, maybe even if it is on a holiday, it's a little more doable, or maybe it's, you know, late enough that it's functionally the day after. But just flagging that now, because chances are good that we would not be looking at at least a usually, or a RITE Night in its usual time block at the very least. Wait, what? As in, you have an entirely different holiday that is the major winter holiday that happens to be on the 7th, or like Christmas is actually on the 7th? I don't know. But anyways, it's the first ride of the night. We're getting things started with some Thrash Pack and Barker on both teams, as this is just about Barker's birthday. Christmas is on the 7th? Okay. I will... Okay, you know? What do I know? So, of course, we have Phaler versus Core, and Core is getting us started fittingly with Barker. Okay. Okay, I was gonna say, I'm sure there are great reasons for that I just don't understand. So, I will plead ignorance. Now it's Phaler sneaking under the defenders with Barker. Ooh, and Phaler sneaks that throw in for 20, just barely in between the defenders. But yeah, originally I was thinking it would be kind of cool to synchronize, more or less, a Pyre tournament with the World Cup, but just the timing of my working myself back from having lost my voice seemed like it wasn't quite going to work out, as cool as that might have been. And maybe we can do it a little bit after and still go for a bit of a World Cup theme, even if it's technically post-World Cup. But we'll play it by ear. We'll see. But here's Core, getting stopped, and series of explosions there, as Phaler can't quite make it past the pit of lava with his jump from Almer. Core sneaking through, that throw is unblockable, and does land for 15. Phaler teleports in and does avoid the lava this time, but can't avoid the defender, who intercepts the throw. Core passes off. Everyone falling into the pit of lava right now. Core waiting to get that stamina back, but pinned into a corner. So Phaler retrieves, but he's stopped. Core back to Barker. Banishes one with the throw. Was about to banish the second, but Phaler was too quick. But Core's second player, Gilman, also was not quite quick enough on the throw. So Phaler has gotten it back and was starting to make his way forward. Has it back here with Almer. And the throw does make it in here for the full 20. Phaler was just waiting for Core to commit and then goes in and banishes everybody, except Gilman returns with his Valiant return. And with that, was quick enough to sneak on through there for an 11 damage throw. Phaler retreats, then moves in, but is still banished here. Core goes down. Almer, clean throw here for 20. Dropping Core down to 20, and therefore one more of those might be all that Phaler needs here. That means Almer is dangerous. And there it is.
GG.
The scribes themselves surely have taken note. Thus end this night's proceedings.
All right, well played, you two. Let's head on back.
Until the next rite.
And let us know, chat, if there's anything we'd like to see for the next one. Otherwise, we'll set ourselves back to our defaults. Oh, and we'll get rid of our stream intro as well. Not seeing anything at the moment. So, oh, hold on. Never to return dissidents. Okay, a little more Barker-themed stuff, I suppose. That works too. Anything else along those lines? Is there a specific talisman that we associate with Barker? What is the talisman that Barker uses in the campaign? Don't remember. Scribe Rock? Oh, really? Oh, yeah, true. He does have your aura, doesn't he? Super Scrap, yeah, his aura in the campaign is actually pretty huge, isn't it? Strange as that might seem in a vacuum, but okay. Well, let's jump in. Up to the players if they'd like to go the Scribe Rock route. As we were saying, it does seem like that's perhaps not usually the kind of thing you'd want to put on a Cur, but I think we've seen it every once in a while.
Take on the Pyre. Welcome. Who shall conduct the rites? Alma.
Phaler goes Prayer Beads on Almer. True, it is the Distance Home Arena.
Sandra.
Power casting Snadra in the first spot for Core.
Exile.
And Raji for Phaler.
Sir Gil.
Core goes for Exploding. Gilman was thinking Sap for a second there, but opted for Gilman instead.
Headwind.
Phaler goes for Power Casting Headwind. And lastly, Core does lock in that quick throwing Manly. So here we go, round 2 between Phaler and Core here, and Phaler with a big jump to the other side. But Core was unfazed. Okay, here we see what looks to be Core's strat. He did take the group shield on his Sap, but it's actually going to be his Worm that gets in first here, Gilman. And we did see Phaler take the Prayer Beads on Almer, so he's free to jump straight on in with him, as he has already returned. And here he is. And goes straight in once again. Big power casts being exchanged here. Snadra does go down, though. Almer and Phaler, he'll take that. That is, of course, the strength of the Prayer Beads. If he sees that opening, he's willing to take it. Huge power cast, though, from Core there. Snadra's still banished. Orb remains unclaimed right next to Phaler's Pyre, and so Core opts to scoop it up and plunge here. But no Prayer Beads on Gilman, so he's now gone for this round. Snadra shielded, and that was the strategy that I was alluding to before, using that group shielding from Core's Sap to help protect Snadra in particular. We tend to see it happen with the Nomads more than other classes as they jump forward and then switch back to the Sap to shield, allowing them to advance more aggressively and sometimes banish the would-be defenders. Speaking of which, all of Phaler's defenders are banished here, so not only a 20 damage plunge, but also 10 leech for Core in that case. Phaler loses his Imp. Now loses his power casting Headwind. Core trying to move in here with Manly. Well shielded once again. Slowly but surely plodding forward. And remember, does have that quick throw with that extra distance on the Sap throw. Was almost in throwing range there, but Phaler stops that attack just in time. Meanwhile, Core says, I'll take that, thank you very much. Oh, big snipe there from Headwind, but Gilman does return, and there's an opening here. C's chance was active as well, so that's 25 rather than the usual 15.
One more like that and we are finished here. Yes.
Snadra down. Almer. Straight in.
What the scribes ordained.
So now Core needing likely just one. Phaler needing, I believe, 2, unless Core has taken Rekindling on his sap as well, in which case he will have a second life bar. Core potentially could have more leech if he is to score with Snadra. Then again, if he is to score, it's probably game over. Snadra trying to get rid of the defenders, but she's banished instead. Phaler. Fraji. Oh, loses 2 in that exchange. The power cast. They trade exiles, but Phaler can't afford to be doing that here and now, except he somehow gets the orb back, stopping what would have been a game-winning score, but there it is. GG. Well played, you two. Let's head on back.
Until the stars align.
Let us know, chat, if there's anything you would like to see for the next one, other than for me to ban this bot in just a second. Reset our song as well. Anything else Barker themed we're looking for here? I mean, we got a free Barker arena in that one. That wasn't even part of the plan. But we've had a Thrash Pack. We've had Never to Return Dissidence Edition. Now it's just customized off as an ore. So time for a little bit of chaos. That means randomized exiles, masteries, and talismans. Won't even get to see what they are in advance. Just going to get thrown straight into the chaos. And, oh man. Oh man. Let's add to that equation a little bit of boat magic sprinkled on top. That means song is really the only thing we have left here, if that is still of interest. Otherwise, we have just about everything locked in. Dirty deal? Alright. Let's do it. Alright, for Phaler it is a Harp, a Worm, and an Imp. For Core it is a Nomad, a Worm, and a Cur. That Cur being Barker. So there is no escape from Barker, apparently. Lendl for Core. Makes it through here for 20. No prayer reads, though, so he's gone for this round. Core, oh, has extra damage on his throw there. And Black Hoof, I mean, you knew there had to be a Cursed Talisman somewhere. It is apparently on Phaler's Pamitha. She cannot pick up the orb. So that is purely a defensive Pamitha in that case. Phaler's throw, just enough on that to land for 15. Thought I just saw something popping up on Core's side as well. There's the Black Hoof. Once again, it is on Pamitha. So Phaler can't pick up the orb with her. And that's painful, because that might have otherwise been his preferred offensive character, Typhoon Bottle. Means if everyone on Phaler's side is banished, then Core will be unable to sprint, jump, throw, or use any of their special abilities. Normally, that would not be something you'd like to do with a Worm, because generally, your Worm is going to come back from banishment whenever everyone else is banished, but not sure if we've confirmed one way or another if Phaler actually has that mastery on Lady River or not. Or thinking about the throw, but blocked here, and now banished. So Phaler going to need to manufacture some offense from characters and classes that are generally not all that much thought of as offensive characters. Worm certainly could be, but is not very high damage. And the Imps tend to be more defensive specialists. Whereas Core, as we're seeing here, does have Barker, and Curs tend to be more offensive specialists. An exchange of banishments in front of Phaler's Pyre. But Phaler sees an opening here and actually has extra damage on his imp, whether that be from, I think it must be a mastery, because we didn't see the name of any of those talismans pop up. And yes, that was Black Heart. So another cursed talisman on Lendl for core. So cursed talisman on each side, though we have yet to see the Black Heart turn Lendl into a Howler. Or at least I haven't caught it, if it has triggered. Well, Phaler plunges here for 15 with his worm. No prayer beads on Lady River, though. Phaler with Tizo. He's banished. Ametha committed defensively, but Core still made it past her. Core playing Ring Around the Rosie here. Waiting for Phaler to go one way so that he can go the other. And banishes one of the defenders. Orb still unclaimed there as Phaler cannot pick it up with Pamitha. And Core nearly sneaks past. Now Phaler back on it. Trying to make a move with his worm. Core trying to return the favor now. And makes it through. And 15 damage means that drops Phaler down to 3. Now, we don't know. There could be a right light for an unexpected 20 rekindling. Oh, but there's a shoulder smash from Core. Instead of getting banished, he does the banishing. Typhoon Bottle does activate. Oh, the shoulder smash once again takes out a defender. But Phaler just barely finds a way to fend off Core, at least temporarily. And now can shift the momentum, and oh, for a second there, I thought that was going to be Lendl turning into Howler, and that could have still given Phaler the scoring opportunity he was waiting for. Lendl blocked this time, now banished. Ametha can't pick it up. Whoa, that is a flying Barker if ever I saw one. And he makes it through for the winning plunge. GG.
The rite is done.
Retimed as a cursed talisman. It just has to be.
On both sides, no less.
Never procced one score. I didn't see the Howler the entire game.
I don't think I did either. I saw out of the corner of my eye a name pop up next to one of Core's exiles at the beginning of the round, so I thought he might have had a cursed talisman like that, but then, like you said, I never saw it turn into Howler. But I was just waiting for that waiting for that play where Phaler was bringing the orb up and Core was about to get a defender back right as Phaler arrived, and it was Lendl. And if it was a Howler, tough luck for Core, because there's no way he could have stopped Phaler from scoring, but Lendl does still come back in his usual form, and therefore Core was able to pull off the defensive stop. Still waiting for random triple curse talismans. Did we run the math on that to see what the actual probability of that is? I feel like we might have done that once. I mean, that would be under the assumption that there is an equal probability of all of the talismans appearing. But I think we all know that the cursed talismans are far more likely to show up than anything else, right? How else could you explain the ever-present cursed talismans in customized off matches? Well, less than 1%. Yeah, that's assuming that cursed talismans have the same probability of every other talisman, but let's be honest, it's gotta have, what, like 10 times the probability of showing up? Seemingly. Anything we would like for this next one, though? Or should we just have our players take whatever they'd like? 0.009%. And that's assuming that it has the same probability as every other talisman, I take it. Next, Supergiant Q&A. We're going to need to ask, what is the actual probability of having Cursed Talisman show up when you turn Customize off in Pyre? The truth must be revealed. Then we can really run the numbers. Your secret's out. We know, Supergiant. We know what you've done. Alright, but not seeing anything request-wise for this one, so why don't we jump in? And it's the pit.
Welcome. Who shall conduct the rites?
Of course, lots of interesting things you can do this arena. Phaler opts to go with a speedy, teleporting, Titan Tooth Tamitha. Everything with a T. While Core goes Exploding Gilman. Then Power Casting Xanter in the second spot for Phaler. And I was wondering if we might see a Can Singularity pop up, and it does seem as though that is direction that Core is going in here. Of course, that means that if the Stowaway comes back from banishment, she will suck in neighboring exiles like a vacuum cleaner, and if they fall into her aura, she'll banish them in the process. Exploding Deluge in the last spot for Phaler. Now Core perhaps looking for a way to bring the Stowaway back from banishment more reliably, such as with Sacred Bond by stepping on the Stowaway's portrait. Extra starting life as well from Snadra. And here we go. Stowaway. Banish. Core looking to bring her back, and does. And at least temporarily, she was the only one there, but Phaler does get someone back in time and almost avoids the gravitational pull of the Can Singularity. The orb remains unclaimed here. And Phaler gets it right next to Core's Pyre. Oh, but was that the Stowaway showing up in Can Singularity, dispossessing Phaler right as he was about to score, and then Core proceeding to counter quickly? Core now trying to make it in with Gilman, but banished just shy of the Pyre. Phaler blocked, but has Titan Tooth. Trying to find a way around Snadra, and does. Core pushes his way in for 20. Worm versus Worm. Core wins the race, but still gets banished. Phaler defenseless at the moment, so time for Core to throw this one in with the Stowaway for the full 20. This time it's a tie to the orb, but that, Titan Tooth stunned Core initially, but then Core returns the favor with a stunning claim, but Phaler well maneuvered around the defenders, off the wall and in for 20. No prayer beads though on Tamitha. She had that Titan Tooth, so she was gone, and that meant a little more space for the stowaway to make her way in there for 20 of her own. Deluge returns for Phaler, as he may wait to buy some time. Stunning Claim means well executed there. For a second, Phaler had the only exile capable of moving, but then once again, Core countered a stun with a stun of his own. But Phaler makes it in with Snadra. No prayer beads on her, but she scores for 20. Opening here for the stowaway, banished on the Pyre's doorstep. Phaler trying to get out of there, and does. And lands that throw for 13. Tamitha straight in here. Good for another 20. Once again, no prayer beats, so she's gone for this round. It's a numbers advantage to Core in that way. Stowaway banished. Now Phaler with Deluge has an opening. Does he have enough range on that throw, though? Not quite. Shoulder smashes the stowaway. Does that count as... Looks like it did trigger the false step. I didn't remember, but it appeared as though it did in fact activate it, and that helped to set up the stowaway's score there. There is the stun from Titan Tooth, slowing down Core. That time he was not able to counter with a stun of his own using Stunning Claim. Race to the Pyre, which Phaler wins with his Worm. Yeah, it definitely looked like it triggered it there. Phaler once again just trying to race through or explode on most of the defenders. Or brings back his friends, though. Stowaway, she's shoulder smashed, and there is the false step. Looping around on the jump, but not quick enough on the trigger there with the throw. But everyone is down on Phaler's side, so Core with time to choose how he wants to score this. Oh, and goes for the extra damage on the Seize Chance Worm. Good presence of mind to realize that that Seize Chance was active, because if it wasn't, that was a worse play than scoring with Snadra. So that means that throw was all Core needed to finish the job. GG. Yeah, it makes sense, right? I mean, she is still in the jump. All right, let's head back.
Until the next rite.
All right, and let us know, chat, if there's anything we would like for this next one. If not, oh, go ahead.
Right Night. This is another short one, Right Night.
I'm feeling pretty good today, or was at least was feeling pretty good today / yesterday as I was streaming. So we might be able to go more of a 3-ish hour late. I mean, last week we did, I think it was 2 hours 10 minutes of actual Right Night stuffs. So I think we can go a little more than that, at least in theory. Again, you know, we'll play it by ear a little bit. If suddenly we get, you know, another half hour through and I'm suffering here, then we might need to call it a little earlier than that. But I'm optimistic that we can at least make it longer than last week. Honor's choosing Exiles, and she says Phaler is going to pick for Core, and Core is going to pick for Phaler. And whenever we see a request like this, you have to ask yourself, how forgiving are they going to be? Are they going to deliberately pick some characters that they think their opponent does not like to use, and, well, maybe then their opponent will return the favor and give them some not so great options either. Or if they're nice, maybe their opponents will be kind and give them some of their preferred characters to use. Is that all? Just with the Exiles? Anything else? Well, in that case, let's get started. I was gonna say, that sounded an awful lot like a boat to me.
Welcome. Who shall conduct the rites?
Well, we shall see.
We'll go with Lendl first.
Lendl is the first pick that Core will make for Phaler. But the map will provide, exactly. So everything else is up to you, Phaler. You can pick Talisman, you can pick Masteries. Phaler goes the Power Casting and Leech route with Lendl.
Go with Barker.
Oh, more Barker action. I mean, it's fitting. But we've seen Barker in almost every rite thus far today. Core goes Prayer Beads on him. Preferences, Core?
Sorry, I forgot. Wolfred.
Phaler, this is a travesty, and as the one of the members of Team Speedy Wolfred, I'm ashamed of you right now.
Dude, I want to sling bullets that.
Nah, you
There
can
is
have
no
this
such
instead.
thing as quarterback Wolfred. We had a civil war about this, okay? Phaler, you participated in this civil war, and you were on Team Speedy Wolfred, not Team Quarterback Manly. You of all people should know.
Okay, what did you
It's
say?
changed, old man. Go with Rookie. Core.
I mean, I will accept Nutritionistic Wolfred as an alternative to the original Speedy Wolfred. That much is fine. It's the same general concept. But as soon as you try to flip the script and turn Wolfred into the quarterback, then we have an issue. Same thing with Manly, whether it be the range throw or the speedy throw. Yeah, the range throw was the original quarterback Manly. But if you want to go with the speedy throws, that's at least in the same vein. A modification on the same general idea. Looks over at his 3 cups of water and 1 glass of tea.
Well,
Raji.
Oh, even gives Phaler his imp of choice here.
exile.
All right.
And you can go with Sir Gilman.
Last one for Core, and you saw the double cur there, and you thought maybe there's a chance. Phaler was about to set him up with exclusively curs, but that's not so.
Yep, the vengeful vow.
You're really gonna do me like this, huh?
A lot of small, quick characters for Core.
Now begin.
Core is first the orb, perhaps for that very reason. Slowly pacing forward with Barker. Oh, but makes his move. And when he does, it's quick. And we'll come back with Barker. Here he is, in fact. Taylor intercepts and can quickly counter here with Lendl. And makes it through, not just for 20, but for 10 leech as well. We will just not talk about the voice's math skills or lack thereof. Gilman trying to push through. That Titan Tooth stuns Phaler, giving Core a little bit of time here, and that throw is unblockable. Lendl down. Gilman down. Lendl has returned. Him versus Barker, and Lendl makes it through once again. 20 damage, 10 leech. So on net, a 30-point score. Barker banished. And a bit of an opening here from Phaler with Raji, which he seizes upon. Core nearly made it in there. Now here's Phaler with full Fred. That's okay, he deserved that. There's no such thing as quarterback Volfred. Siege Chance active here. So that's an extra 10 damage on Core's throw there from Sir Gilman. Core trying to go through the other way over the little pool. And did have Siege Chance active, I think, but had to cut the throw short enough that it was still just good for 13 and nothing more. Shoulder Smash gets rid of Barker. The big explosion gets rid of some of Phaler's defenders here. Now with Lendl. He goes down. Core trying to be quick while that Siege Chance is still active, but it has now expired. As has Gilman. Clever portal usage there from Phaler. Setting up Lendl again. Oh, and Phaler not quite with the shielded timing. And so that means no one back to defend against that plunge. And Core may need one more score here. Don't recall as to whether Phaler took any rekindling on Volfred. If so, then he will of course have a second life bar. Phaler could finish this with one score himself, though it would mean it'd have to be a full damage sap score, which is perhaps not the most likely. Just 10 damage on that throw from Core, so either way, he will still need one more before we even test that theory as to whether Phaler does have any rekindling. Oh, and once again, timing on the shield a little bit off here. Core trying to find his opening, but not this time. Phaler through the portal. Was thinking about it. Is having some second thoughts now. Blocked, but then banishes one of the defenders. As well as the other, although gets exploded upon with that Vengeful Vow. Core trying to find his way through. Oh, well done on the exploding sapling from Volfred. And well done on the Vengeful Vow explosion for Core. Okay, this portal does not take him far. But bought him just enough time to get his other defenders back. Lendl. He's banished. Core still on the attack. Somehow throws under the defender there. And there is a second life bar. It's just 10 though. So one more score, probably all that Core would need here. But here is Phaler on the attack, and as we've already seen, Lendl does have some leech, but that's not enough to stop Core from getting the winning score.
They somehow managed to scrape by despite their
That sucks.
adversaries' efforts.
GG.
Thus end this night's proceedings.
And it is fitting, of course. We've seen a lot of Barker today, and a lot of Barker on the winning screen as well.
Until the stars align.
Baylor says he's out for now. So that means we're looking for at least one to hop in and take Baylor's spot. Anor says, let me in. All right, Anor. What's the magic word? Parsnips. The magic word was actually parsnips. Yeah, sorry, there's no way you're going to get that one. What? Alright, so we're getting Anor in here against Core. Anor, are you going mouse keyboard today, or are you going controller? Assume, either way, we're going to have you on player 1, but would be mistaken. Not gonna lie, I was also very tempted to type in your name as Parsnips right there.
Welcome.
Controller it is, ooh. And Robin, thanks for the follow, hope you're enjoying the stream. We're doing some good old-fashioned multiplayer Pyre. Good to have you. Alright, let me just verify what remote play set. Yeah, in theory, remote play still seems to think that Core is player 2. What is going on? Multiplayer Pyre! That's what's going on. Multiplayer Pyre. Have you played Pyre before, or is this your first time? Codename Parsnip sounds interesting. Never saw it. It's sometimes compared to basketball. Personally, I think it's maybe a little more similar to hockey or handball, but basically, each team is trying to control the orb or the ball and pass it around and make it into the opposing team's fire, or pyre in this case, and hence the name of the game. If they make it into that fire, then they deal damage to their opponents, and once their opponent drops down to 0 pyre life, then they're defeated. There are a bunch of different ways that they can make maneuvers. Some characters can jump and fly around others, pass the orb to teammates, and banish, take out their opponents temporarily, and what have you. But that's the general name of the game. It'll be True Nightwings. Oh, mixing it up. Okay. Okay. Keeping things interesting. There we are. All right. So, any requests from chat here from what we'd like to see? Or will we give Anor a little bit of time to warm up before we start doing anything too outlandish? Well, Anor says, I don't mind. I'll turn Customize off on myself. So that means randomized exiles, masteries, and talismans won't even get to see what any of those things are in advance, just gonna get thrown straight into the absolute mayhem. So brace yourself, because who knows what's coming up next. Well, it's Isle of Kalamer. You can hear the imps. And for Anor, it is 2 crones and an imp. And for Kor, that might be Orlek. It is. And 2 worms. Orlek, of course, one of the strongest characters, except for his downside of when he gets banished, he is out for a full 30 seconds, which is an eternity in the grand scheme of things. However, there are some worm abilities, some masteries that can bring him back more quickly. So although this is a randomized team, there is a chance that Kor may have lucked out here a bit and gotten a team that can synergize well. Meanwhile, he is just hunting down all of Anor's characters with Orlek. Oh, it looked like he had the extra damage on that throw there from his worm. That was a bit unusual. Don't think I saw C's chance popping up. So not sure where that was coming from. Anor moving in on the attack, but Kor there and able defensively to stop her. Forfeit for Anor. Makes it in to get us started with a 25 damage plunge. I am commentating right now. You see the names on each corner right now. On the left side, that is Anor, and on the right side, it is Kor. So we are doing some multiplayer Pyre with people playing from chat and taking requests from chat if there are specific characters or skills or items you want people to use, that kind of thing. This time we've turned customize off, which basically means that everything is randomized. So we did not know what characters or abilities or items we were going to have before the match started, just got thrown straight into it and didn't even see what those were at the beginning. So even a bit of a guessing game remains. But there is Kor plunging for 25. Yeah, so it's similar to some other sports games, but of course, it's not exactly like anything you see on 2K basketball or hockey or anything like that. Here's Kor throwing the orb in for a quick 5. Ooh, Anor might have Stubborn Flame by the looks of things there. Reducing Kor's damage by 10 if Kor is in the lead. And that is currently the case, and it looked like Kor's damage was maxing out at a lower number than you would typically see. You have to make it into the fire to score, so you can take out your opponent's characters, but that's mostly just to clear out space, to make it easier to get to the fire. You can either dive in directly, or you can throw it in. If you throw it, you might have a little more range, but your opponent could intercept it. Here is Kor with Orlek. Oh, and he has Celestial Spike as well, so he can banish opponents with his throws. So the amount of damage that is dealt depends on the character. Generally speaking, bigger, slower characters score for more. Smaller, quicker characters score for less, so it's kind of a risk-reward situation. The characters that are easier to score with are worth less when they do score, and vice versa. But there are some items and some abilities that can modify that. And if you plunge, if you dive straight in, if you dive straight into the fire to score, then you are out. That character is unavailable for the next round. Whereas if you throw it in, that character is still available for the next round. So like here you see, Kor did not have anyone stopping him from scoring, but he opted to throw, because that means that he still keeps this character for this round, whereas if he did plunge straight in, he would have lost that character for this round. So those are just other aspects to consider. Some of the more finer details. But this time, that plunge will finish the job. GG.
I had a Living Flame on my Orlek, so it counteracted the Stubborn Flame.
Oh, interesting.
Until the next rite.
If you post a link, my guess is Twitch/Nightbot is going to block it. But let us know, chat, if there's anything we'd like to see for the next one. Otherwise, we'll turn Customize back on here. how's it going, Night Runner? Oh, I see. All right, so unfortunately, Robin, here's the thing. So for copyright reasons and what have you, like basically the stream will get muted / I'll get a strike and what have you if we start spamming songs from, I am not familiar with that one, but whatever that one is from. Yeah. So if you'd like to, we have a series of songs in-game that are available. I know since you're new to the game, you probably aren't familiar with them, but generally what we do for the songs is either a song that is directly in the game already, or a song that is from another game that these developers made. Path to Glory, sure. That is actually one of my favorites, so you know what? Good choice. Good choice. All right, so we have a song. Anything else we would like for this next one? Our song is locked down. But not seeing anything else. The 5th talisman. I don't even know offhand which one that is. That might be a cursed talisman. Well, why don't we jump in? So I'm not 100% sure what the 5th one is, but I think it might be a cursed one. We're at the Fall of Solium. I think it's Blackheart. It might be. I think it might be. 1, 2, 3, or it's the hoof. So these are the items. 1 per character. I assume we're going left to right, and that would make it the hoof, rather than, you know, up and down, in which case that would make it the respawning, the moon crest. Yeah, hoof. So each of the talismans do different things. Some of them you can't use on specific characters because they're specific to a certain type of class. And the 6th skill, there are a bunch of skills. So that one's a little bit harder to say what the 6th one is, given how they're laid out here. What would the 6th be? I don't know. Guess it out? Maybe? Yeah, left to right makes sense for talismans, but for skills, I think that's a little bit harder to know what the 6th is. Even then, if you're going left to right, I'm still not sure what that would mean in that case. Given how they're... What would it be? The first one on the left, then the first one on the right. Then you go to the 2nd row would be the first one on the left. And so on and so forth. First left skill, then 2nd is the first on the right. Okay. So, like, basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 is how we'd count. Only the first, so like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like that. One, 2, other page, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? What? Said it right before when I went down. Like 1. And now I've said enough combinations that yeah, now I have confused myself. This one? So you said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think one combination ended up here, and another one ended up. It's the left one, then right one, then next page the same. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think we either ended up with this one or this one, depending on how we ended up counting.
So left side, right 1. So we go L1. Just explain what we do.
Yeah, so usually the way that we tend to refer to them is, this is L1, since this is the left side. So L1, L2, L3, L4. And then for the right side, R1, R2, R3, R4 is typically the way that we refer to them. So if there's a specific one that you'd like, the L1, R1, next page. Yeah, there's no second page for skills. There's no second page. There are different ones for different characters, but there's no second page.
Unless he means next exile. You're good.
No worries, no worries. Yeah, no, for characters, for talismans, the items, there are 2 pages. That is true. There are 2 pages for the items, but for the skills, there's only the left side and the right side.
And there's up to 4.
Oh, hold on. One moment while I double check, Anor. Now you're scaring me. You were right. I did. I don't know how you remembered that. But okay, now I have you up to 100, so that's probably safer. L4. L4 is the answer, apparently. So down here. Okay. This one right here is what we're looking for.
Okay, so that's guaranteed. But...
Oh, well, I mean on any... Not necessarily on this character, because I don't think we had
But
any
on
exile
all
requests.
or just one?
Yeah, so there are going to be 3 characters on each team. Do you want it on every character on every team? It took all 4 of our brain cells to say L4. Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, 3 characters. Does every single character have this last one on the left side? Or just one of them and then do whatever you want? Okay, all of your characters go all the way down on the left side. And we'll have a, what did we say? Was the Black Hoof? Was the talisman selection? I think just L4. I think just L4. If you want to go all left side. No, all 4. Nothing else. Okay, pure left side. Pure left side. Confirmed.
I think he means just L4, but you can't do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You need to...
it's like a skill tree. Yeah. So you can go 1, 2, and 3, or 1, 2, and 3, but you can't skip way down to this. That's why it's grayed out right now.
Okay, so I think he's saying all left side then.
Okay. Yeah, let's just go all left then.
Yeah.
All left, all exiles, and somebody has a Black Hoof. So there's 1 copy of each talisman. So we can put that 5th talisman on 1 person, which I think the players are going to do at some point. But since they can't repeat that talisman, I think they are going for whatever they'd like on the other characters. But they're waiting to find the right fit for that 5th talisman, because it's a tricky one. It is a cursed talisman, which means it has a strong upside, but also a strong downside to it.
I mean,
Gives them...
I'd rather take 2 rings than...
more stamina, but cannot pick up the orb. Duff, how's it going? How are you? Duff has returned. Log champs, indeed. Alright, and there is that 5th talisman for Nor going on a harp with it. So basically, the person that has that talisman, more or less, needs to be a dedicated defender. Since they can't pick up the orb, it is technically still possible to score with them, but it is very difficult to do so. And generally speaking, is ill-advised. Or I do not believe has used the talisman yet. No, he has not. So he'll do so here. On a crone, which means he gets Stubborn Flame. That is the mastery that we saw on Anor's side in the previous customized off match. Meaning that if Anor is in the lead, she will be dealing 10 less damage. Courtesy of that mastery, that skill. From Kor's most recent character. Oh, that's true, and Duff is just in time to see Anor versus Kor. Usually you have to pay extra to see this stuff.
I just realized that I'm gonna have a big issue.
But that's not all left side.
Oh, yes.
That's true. Anor is not currently unleashing her full power. We do need to bear that in mind. Oh, be careful that Beyonder Crystal, man. They'll trap you there for hundreds of years, no joke. Alright, but here we are. Power casting with Headwind, and a whole lot of that. In fact, enough so that Anor has banished all of Kor's defenders. So an uncontested opportunity to throw that one in for 20. Zoxiana for Kor. Trying to maneuver, and does maneuver around the defenders. Nifty maneuver there. Sidestepping around one of them and finding the way in there. No prayer beads. So that means he is now without Zoxiana and without the other defenders, as Anor did just banish them. And so once again, Headwind takes out all of the opposition, setting up an uncontested 20 damage throw and also 10 leech from that mastery all the way down on that left side that we were talking about. Kor tries to switch characters, except the thing is that character that he switched into is the one with that cursed talisman that prevents him from picking up the orb, so that did complicate matters. Kor back on it here. Move it in with Tizo, and makes it through for 25. Tend not to see that mastery that gives the extra 10 damage on the imps. But again, after going all left side, that means Imp's a little more offensive in this matchup than you typically see. Oh, huge banishments from Bertrude, but she can't pick up the orb there. So Kor has to bring in Zoxiana, and Numbing Gus, the last mastery on the left side for Anor's Sap, means that if everyone is banished on Anor's side, Kor cannot sprint, jump, throw, or use any other special abilities. So Kor was just trapped, walking that one toward the Pyre, and was not quick enough to get the job done. Kor has it back, and this time does make it in for 20. Or with Tizo. Tizo taken out, and Anor unable to pick it up with her harp. Down the harp goes. Kor can't pick it up with this crone either. Headwind down, but in comes Volfred. Oh, and pass it to the teammate who cannot pick it up. Volfred on the move, though. Oh, but Kor with a quick recovery there. And Anor actually defenseless here. But once again, the Numbing Gust slows down Kor, buying Anor a little bit of time to get the defenders back and in position. And for Kor, it's going to have to be Tizo, because he plunged with Zoxiana. And Bertrude cannot pick up the orb. So he's now waiting to get Tizo over there, because that is his only way to score in this case. And that would seem to mean big advantage to Anor and big opening here for Anor. Oh, but not quite enough time to make it in there with Volfred. Or sneaking around and nearly makes it through. And Anor snipes. And now moving in with Volfred. Hedwyn the other side. Who will it be? Well, Hedwyn goes down. Now Core on the counterattack. Anor switches to get Volfred back defensively. And at least slows down Tizo. The throw intercepted. Now Volfred on the counter. And Anor did have Tamitha over there, but again, without the ability to carry the orb, she was not much of a threat in that position. Core now back with it. Everyone down. Anor throws this one in for 20 and gets some leech as well. And matches are usually on the order of about 5 minutes. I think this one might go a little bit longer since this is a little more of a defensive matchup. Tizo blocked, but implodes upon the enemies. I think Anor shielded that one off with Volfred, so he's still here. And looking to go off against Tizo, whose throw does make it in, despite Anor seemingly being in position there defensively. Just barely able to sneak it through. And again, the extra damage on the Imp because Core went all the way down on the left side, as everyone has for all their exiles in this encounter. And we're trying to get back on that orb, but Core does just enough to block it. Zoxiana. Blocked. Oh, and switches into Tizo. Hedwyn just barely sidesteps Zoxiana. Waiting for some reinforcements, though. And gets them with Volfred. Hedwyn shoulder smashes one defender, but gets banished by the other. And Core still with some characters near Anor's Pyre. Anor gets back defensively, anticipating that would-be attack. Core able to banish them. Oh, and he can score with his crone if he passes it to her when she's hanging out right on top of the Pyre, and nearly was able to do that there. Looked like he was setting her up to do that, but not quite enough time to execute. Good snipe there from Hedwyn. But down he goes. And it leaves just Tamitha back defensively, and she's banished. Means once again, Core is slowed. Oh, and that buys just enough time for Hedwyn to make a recovery here, coming back from banishment. Oh, Volfred not quite able to sidestep the harp. Core comes rampaging through. But does eventually go down. Volfred starts making moves. Starts going one way. Then changes direction. Does he have that kind of range? Well, he can't charge it up quickly enough on the throw. Hedwyn trying to pick off one or two of the attackers here. Hops over them, but Core still has it. Oh, and the rarely executed successfully self-sacrificing, or well, pushing a teammate into the opposing player that actually worked. So often you see that happen, and the teammate goes down, and nothing good comes of it. But it did actually work in that case. Anor, well done to change directions and still execute the cast. Hedwyn, pinned in the corner, nearly avoided that. Big implosion. Oh, and I thought Anor had flown to avoid that banishment, but Headwind does return. Waits for the teammates to return as well. Now it's Volfred. Nor fakes one way. Oh, and tries to go straight in. There's the switch. Getting Zoxiana on the orb. Flies over one defender. And in goes Tizo for 25, and that drops Anor down to 5. And although Anor does have a sap, remember she is all left side masteries, which means by definition does not have any rekindling on Volfred. So there will not be any second life bars. So Core just needs 1 here. Anor may be able to finish this with 2 though. So still potentially anybody's game. Headwind. Waits for Volfred to come back, but he's immediately banished. Nor can't pick it up with her harp, so just pushes away the attacker. Nor move it in with Volfred, and goes straight in. 25 on the plunge, however that means no Volfred here. And that means Headwind is the only character that Anor can score with here. And down he goes. So just Pamitha back defensively. 1 score could be the trick for either player, but a numbers advantage to Core. And there it is.
Okay.
GG.
The ceremony is complete.
Definitely a defensive showdown.
I got my step plunge. I don't care. On control, it's very hard to just pull off.
Oh, that was good.
Also, hi.
Hey. I don't know how you remembered that you were on 200% volume. But you were like, Lids, you might want to double check. And you were 100% right.
It's because she used to be really low, but then she turned it up semi recently.
New microphone or just change the settings?
Settings.
Settings, gotcha. Only cursed talismans? Oh man. Oh man. It looks like that's what we have in store here for this next one. So I hope you guys are ready. Otherwise, we'll reset unless there's anything else we'd like to add on top of that.
I want to add something.
Brace yourselves. Everyone's favorite arena, of course. And by everyone, I mean particularly Anor. Far and away, #1 on her list. Preset song, okay. ×2, gotcha. Alright, that means... Oh, and just barely beat Duff to the punch. Didn't move too many times. Alright, well, unless we have exiles, I think that's the one thing we've not yet redeemed here. Unless we have something for that, we should be good to go. Then again, bear in mind, if we're going only Cursed Talismans, there are some characters that cannot use some of the Cursed Talismans. Well, thanks for stopping by, Robin. Good to have you. Alright, let's jump into this one then.
The true Nightwings shall take on.
Guys, if we wanted Cursed Talismans, why didn't we just turn Customize off?
Welcome. Who shall conduct the rites?
Alright, so any exiles you'd like, but Cursed Talismans on all of them. new Dark Vigor meta? Question mark? Very question mark. We shall see. Hey, you never know. You never know. Not until you try. Ooh, Core goes with the hoof on the stowaway. Then hoof on Tizo for an ore. Yeah, as I was saying before, there are some cursed talismans that do not work on certain classes, so bear that in mind. So it'll be Claw on Ignarius for core. And then the heart, which is the one that will occasionally either give characters infinite stamina or turn them into defenseless howlers. That goes on Udmilda for an ore. Whereas for core, he takes the Imp Salute, which allows him to transform in between Imp and Howler form, which can cancel out the negative side effects of that talisman. Here's Ignarius, so he will maintain his aura when he holds the orb. Stowaway cannot hold it though, at least not for an ore. There is the Howler, the defenseless Howler for an ore. And so that's the kind of situation players will find themselves in this match. So we shall see how they fare. That was a quick plunge there from Norris Crone. And of course, no prayer beads for anyone. So with that plunge, Udmilda is now gone for this round. Stowaway back just in time, in fact. Whereas the Stowaway for core cannot pick up the orb, but she is still capable defensively. It is Tizo who can't pick up the orb for an ore, as we just saw. An ore through the portal. Has the infinite stamina coming from the right or bottom right mastery. Core does not have the orb there, for what it's worth. It seemed as though there was the perception that he did, but no, Anor has it, and you know, a little off target on the plunge, but we'll still give it to her. Everyone down though on Anor's side now, and potentially time for core with Ignarius here. For a big 30 damage Demon Throw. And that keeps Ignarius on the field here. Tizo just waits until the Stowaway returns, and the quick counterattack from the Stowaway nearly successful there. Oh, and well, there is the defenseless Howler. Not the best time for that to happen. But it is still possible to score with a Howler. Or trying not to banish it. Because in many ways it is a good thing for core if Anor has what is in some ways a useless character. Here comes Ignarius through the portal and in for 30 on that plunge, but as we were saying before, plunging means not coming back in the next round. And that leaves core undermanned, but all he needs is his imp to throw it in for 15. And all he needs is one more score. to finish the job. Narius trying to knock back those defenders, and he does, but he gets banished in the process. Kor can teleport to the orb, but he can't pick it up with a stowaway, whereas Nor can. Infinite stamina from that rightmost mastery, or bottom right mastery, you tend not to see very often on those savages, but Nor's trying it out here. Kor is moving in with the imp, and the throw, oh, but it's too quick. Anor holding on with 2 Pyre life. Imp versus imp. Anor takes Messenger Imp out, as well as a stowaway. Opportunity for Anor, but she had to plunge. Anything else, and she would not have had time to make it in. And so that means now no stowaway for Anor in this round. Tiso cannot pick up the orb. She will not be able to score with him, at least not easily. But can still defend. That is the defenseless Howler. Still relatively quick and can theoretically score. And the imps take each other out. That does put a portal right next to the orb. For Ignarius. And he's just trying to knock back those defenders, but he still cannot create enough time or space to get in for the plunge. Oh, and Anor was thinking about that portal, but Kor was thinking about it as well. Mind games, and Anor hops over the defender and in for 30. So Anor not going down without a fight here. Stowaway is back, but that means now that Udmilda is gone. Stowaway makes it through as well. And now it is a 1-score game. Numbers advantage still for Kor. Oh, but Anor has the Crone Salute!
Wait, I legit can't move.
I'm not sure why you can't move, but
Can't move.
on the other hand, I do think we know what the outcome of this is.
No, I have Tizo. My imp can transform back.
One moment. Let's see. Clever trick to hold on to that Crone Salute. Let me.
Another Pyre bug, probably.
This is weird. Yeah, there's nothing obvious from remote play. I mean, I can uninvite you, re-invite you, but short of that, unplugging and re-plugging a
I
controller,
don't think that's gonna do anything.
I don't know what the source of this issue is. It's the extra curse? Oh, the double curse? Wait, what? At first, I thought you legitimately had a very reasonable reason for why that would be game-breaking. Not only was there the curse from the talisman on Kor's side, but also double curse coming from Anor's salute.
Okay, go, and pause.
Any better?
No.
Let me try. Okay, so you unplugged, replugged, but that didn't work.
Yeah, that didn't work.
Want me to try uninviting, re-inviting you? I don't know. I don't know what the source of the problem is, because that's weird. I mean, honestly, the only thing I don't think this has ever happened before with a mid-match controller just stopping to work like that. So, our Rotor's theory is it's not that off base, perhaps.
Okay, you can up player 2 and 3.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you can unpause.
Okay. So I'll go, just in case, I'll do a countdown.
Well, just unpause so I can see.
Just to see.
Yeah, I can't move. Okay, it's done. Just end it. It's fine.
Just end it, he says. Just end it already. Well, that was a weird one.
Although their adversaries put up quite an effort.
An impressive comeback,
Is ended.
and an odd set of circumstances. As I was starting to say, normally that would be just about an automatic score for Nor in that case, although Core, as he was saying, did technically have the Imp Salute to allow Tizo to transform back into an Imp, so he could have still had one defender. But some things, perhaps, we may just never know. Like what the outcome of that right would have been, had that not happened.
I'll do one more, and then if anyone else wants to hop in.
Okay. Well, let us know, chat, if there's anything else we'd like to see for this one. I assume that your controls are still going to work for the next one, Core. I suppose there's a non-zero chance that whatever that was is permanent, but I certainly hope not.
Yeah, I think it's just some curse bug or something.
I do remember keyboard sometimes just shutting down, but I don't think we ever figured out why.
Specifically keyboard?
Yes.
Yeah. I cannot remember a time where... I mean, certainly at the beginning of matches, we've seen some times where the controllers or keyboard mouse just aren't working. But I can't remember a time where in the middle of a right, it just suddenly stopped working like that. It's definitely a weird one. But either way, not seeing any requests from chat at the moment, so why don't we get this next one started? We had the double preset song from Anor a little while back. Anor, I have lost track of how many of these we've done. Have we already gotten both of them at this point?
Just one. No,
Just one? Okay.
The true Nightwings versus the Pyre. Welcome.
Alright, so no requests here.
Who shall conduct the rites?
You are free to take whatever you'd like in what I believe Cole was saying may end up being his last match. That is, at least depending on if anyone else would like to jump in to take his spot afterward, and if so, then let us know and you can hop in a little bit. Anor goes Prayer Beads Pamitha. Well, or
Wait, what is this?
breaks out the Nutrition Stick Volfred against Anor. Hold on.
What do you mean?
Wait a second. Something's not right here.
The controls are not working again. They're picking Wolverine.
Sounds pretty sus to me. Anor goes Speedy Jody. We're on to you, Core. Core goes Quick Throwing Stowaway. And Nor goes Numb and Gus, little bit of rekindling, just the 10, and Nutrition Stick on Volfred, so we will see Nutrition Stick Volfred versus Nutrition Stick Volfred. And it is lastly a Prayer Beads Almer for Core. 4 quick to the orb here. Oh, well that's why. So that's why, huh? Oh dear. Well, so this is why we can't have nice things. Core. All right, have we had our fun now? Have we had our fun now? Have we proven the points? Well, that was a quick blink. Core? I saw where you were headed. I saw where you were headed. Well, he does make it in for 20 here with the stowaway. And well sniped there from Ulmer. Looking for an angle, but can't find one. Jody. Bullfred. Pamtha, everyone moving in here, but Pamtha goes down. And now it's Core on the attack. To the other side he goes, and in. Bullfred down on Core's side. Bullfred moving in on Honor's side, but he's then banished. Core, making very odd moves with Ulmer. As Honor moves in with Jody. Banishing almost all the defenders. May not have wanted to get the orb there, as that was what prevented her from getting that last banishment. Core with Ulmer. Goes in for another 20. Amethyst first the orb this time. Core shields off. Core with Ulmer. Blocks. Takes out one of the defenders, but it's Honor here trying to get out of the... from right next to her Pyre with Pamtha. But gets a little bit stuck. Does eventually get rid of Ulmer. And now makes her escape. Pamtha goes down here. Bullfred for Core, not quick enough. Somehow still manages to get the orb there, even though it was falling within the range of that sapling. Core defenseless for the next little bit here. Does activate the Numbing Gust, and that does slow Honor. Bullfred, tries to go straight in for Core. But Honor wasn't going to let that happen. Now, both players, without any exiles here. Jody's the first to come back for Honor. Makes it past one defender, but blocked by the second. Banishes the other, though. And banished by the third. That imp in front of Honor's Pyre is going absolutely mad. But Core is not distracted and still makes his way through for 20. Down goes Bullfred. Jody for Honor, though. Blocked. Banishes one defender. Gets the orb back, but is blocked again. Banishes the other defender. But banished by Bullfred as he returns. Now Bullfred for Core. Along with the stowaway. But no, it's Bullfred here. Going for the quick point-blank throw for 10, and that is just enough. That if Core's to get a full damage score from Bullfred, that would be sufficient. Anything else would fall just shy of being enough damage. And again, remember, Honor does have 10 rekindling. So she will have a second life bar. Not a huge one. But it means one score, technically speaking, isn't still not enough for Core. Jody knocks back one defender and makes it in here for 30. Bullfred stopped. Same for the stowaway. Though she tries again and does banish the defender and makes it in for 20. But as we were saying, Not enough to trigger that rekindling, so Nora's still holding on with her initial life bar here. Core scoops it up with Volfred. Only needs a little bit here, but got banished before he could finish that throw. Everyone banished on Core's side, but that activates the Numbing Gust, slowing down Anor. So she waits to make her move. Trying to knock back the defender. Oh, and thought she had the angle and the space to dash in there with Jody, and it looked like she did, but did still go down. Core, oh, banished on the doorstep. Again, Core just looking for any damage at all to trigger that rekindling and get to Anor's second life bar. But can't seem to make that happen. Until now. There it is, the second life bar. So now next score for Core would likely finish the job. That is probably the fastest I've ever seen an imp spin in the middle there. Jody knocks back the defender, though. Setting up this plunge. And dropping Core down to 10. Now, did Core have any rekindling? Or is this his first and only life bar? Well, everyone down on Anor's side. Yes, Numbing Gust will slow Core down, and as will those imps. He can't jump around them when Numbing Gust is active. Oh, but Anor goes down to the very well-placed sapling, and Core, oh no. GG.
That was so much fun. What was meant to be, oh, I'm gonna go into the skybox.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Until the next rite.
Alright, do we have anyone else in chat who would like to jump in here? Because I think Core was volunteering to swap out if there was someone who wanted to take his place. But I don't think we've yet heard anyone express that interest. If so, of course, you're welcome to hop in here. Anor would potentially like to swap out as well. So do we have any takers in chat? Sounds like we might be looking for 2 after all. Anyone who's not yet gotten the chance to play today who'd like to do so? Hiroto says he is not available today. No worries. But do we have anyone else still hanging around who would like to get in on the action? Any takers? I mean, I suppose we could wrap things up early. I know I was saying that I'm feeling a little better today and up for making this back to maybe not quite a normal length stream, but thereabouts. But if we just don't have anyone who is interested and available to do so, then perhaps that is inconsequential. And we would just wrap things up soon. As I have not seen anyone else in chat volunteer here. I mean, I could hop in as one of those players, but I think if both people are looking to swap out here, then that's just me and me alone. And that's no good.
Vids versus CPU.
I'll pass on that one. So, in which case, CPU is always there. Right, I suppose. In which case, Anor and Core, do you need to swap out right now? Or could we potentially have you both stick around for one more match and just make that be the Liberation Rite?
Yeah, it's up to Anor. Maybe we do 2 more. But it's up to Anor.
Okay, sure.
Works for you?
Yep.
Core says maybe 2 more. I don't know. Yeah, Nor, I'll let you call the shots. It seems like it's just going to be you two finishing things out here, so however long you two are able to stick around for, I know you both said you need to wrap things up soon. So if you only have time for 1 more, then we can just go straight to Liberation, right? You can do 2 more? Okay. In that case, if there is anything else we'd like to see, this would be our last chance to do any requests before our Liberation, right? So let us know. Otherwise, we'll just have them take whatever they'd like. But not seeing anything right now, and in the interest of time, why don't we get this one started then?
The true night wings shall take on the Pyre hearts. Welcome. Who shall conduct the rites?
Well, no requests here, but we are back at the pit. And the pit is good for a number of things, one of which is certainly throwing savages. Core goes power casting Snadra. Now Anor goes Webland Thorn Tizo. And Core does seem to like those quick throwing saps, especially on this arena, given just how small it is. Doesn't take a lot of movement to get into throwing range with those saps. Anor goes for the extra presence on a saluting Bertrude, so she'll be able to transform all of Core's exiles into defenseless howlers once during this rite. Of course, we know what happened last time. Anor pulled that off. We will see if the Pyre gods smile upon us this time, or if we will be equally cursed. And then another throwing sap in the last spot for Core. Anor goes the throwing route, but gets intercepted. Meanwhile, Anor banishes all of Core's exiles, but does have Numbing Gust, which will slow Anor down, at least until Manly returns here. Oh, and that trajectory looked good for the off-the-wall throw, but Core did have someone back defensively to intercept. Core setting up a wall of saplings, but Anor says, don't mind if I do, I'll just destroy all of them. Takes a little bit for Core to get some exiles back. Oh, and Anor was ready to go for the wall bouncing throw, but it was not on target that time. Going off the wall she goes on the jump for Crone. Exploding sapling though takes out the Crone. Everyone down on Core's side. Anor going off the wall and in for 20. Is that technically last second throw or was that a plunge? I couldn't tell. For a second there it looked like that was the throw animation at the very end, but I thought it was going to be a plunge. There is the ridiculous throwing range on a sap with the sling bullet. The true quarterback Manly setup. Tizo retreats, but getting pinned right next to Anor's Pyre here. The orb does bounce out though, as it would have otherwise inadvertently hit Anor's Pyre. And that did buy her a little more time here. Stowaway going the other way now. Stamina's back, and she goes the ninja route. Ooh, but intercepted on the throw. Snadra, oh, the shielded approach. With the assistance of the saps. setting up that 20 damage plunge. Stowaway blocks, but teleports back to the orb. Her throw is intercepted. Now Core has it back. Not for long with the huge implosion from Anora's imp, and that sets up a little more room for the Stowaway to throw this one in for 20. Stowaway again. Straight in this time for another 20. Stowaway teleports. Core trying to shut her down with the big power cast, but it's actually the Sap Aura that does so, not Snadra. Stowaway has returned, though. Bertrude blocked and now banished. And everyone down now on Anora's team. At least until Tizo, and now the Stowaway return as well. Stowaway just barely sidesteps that big cast from Snadra. Gets it off to Bertrude just in time before she goes down. Bertrude waiting for the stamina. Gets it, but is still blocked and banished. Stowaway, pinball approach. But still stopped. But the Stowaway does eventually make it through there for 20. Bertrude suddenly by herself here. And trapped by Snadra. But Orb does inadvertently hit Anora's Pyre and bounce out, giving Anor just enough time to get Tizo back. Oh, but well shielded from Core there. Keeping Snadra alive temporarily, but then goes down to Bertrude. Now it's up to Manly, and he throws it for 25. Stowaway, intercepted once more. Core with Snadra. Snadra down. Bertrude, stopped. Stowaway, though, doesn't give up on it. Teleports back. Her versus Snadra, and now an angle here to throw this one in for 15. That means, if not for Rekindling, Anor would only need one more score here. Does have the Crone Salute. Now, does Core have Rekindling? And the answer is yes. It's 50 on Core's second life bar. And of course, that Crone Salute that Anor just used is a one-time deal. So she will not be able to pull off that trick anymore. Stowaway, intercepted. But banishes both of the defenders, then gets banished by Snadra after she returns. Then Snadra goes down to Bertrude. Oh, but the orb falls into the aura of the sapling, so Nor can't do much here. Stowaway back on it, though. Immediately intercepted. Core moving in with Manly. He is the quick throwing sap, I believe, rather than the range throwing sap, but either way, he's shut down. Big Tizo implosion. Does that give enough time for the Stowaway to make it in here? Anor trying to go off the wall still. Even with no ability to jump or throw, and nearly pulls it off, but not quite the angle she was looking for. One sap down. Core has it now with the second and passes it over to Snadra. Uses her to get rid of one of the defenders, but Snadra does go down. Well done on the portal play there from Anor to set up a couple of banishments with Tizo. Snadra down. Bertrude cannot sprint, jump, or throw when everyone is banished, so had to wait there. Now just Tizo. Core knows what Anor wants to do, and it is implode and take out the entirety of his team, which she does do. And she's the first one to get someone back, but still can't sprint. Oh, shoulder smash from Snadra to take out Bertrude that time. Oh, but the Stowaway has it right in front of the Pyre. May not be able to sprint, jump, or throw, but can still plunge. That does mean no Stowaway now, though. At least not in this round for Anor. So what can Core do with the extra real estate? Nothing at the moment, as it's Anor back on the attack. But not for long. This could be Core's opportunity here. Goes for the range throw, or thought about it. could have done it, but then perhaps started feeling a little more ambitious and looked like he was thinking about going off the wall with the sap throw. This time, though, keeps it simple. Goes not only for 20 damage with Snadra's throw, but also the 10 leech as well. Stowaway. Bertrude off the wall, getting some momentum. And does so again, but does eventually still go down. Huge implosion from Tiso. Takes everyone out, and the orb still pinballs around. Nor unable to sprint and realizes, well, Core's gonna get someone back before I do. Tried to teleport in there with the stowaway, but still got banished by Snadra. One sap down. Oh, and look at that wall jump, nearly set up an amazing score, but Anor does still make it through with the stowaway for 20. Bertrude down, double banishment from Snadra, in fact. Clearing out plenty of space for 20 damage and 10 leech, and that now means one score could be all that Core needs here, and that leech also means that only Bertrude would have enough damage for Anor. Anyone else would need 2 scores. So does that mean that Anor is focusing exclusively on scoring with Bertrude? Well, that was nearly an opportunity there. Or would Anor still settle for an opportunity with the stowaway, should it present itself? Another big implosion takes out the remainder of Core's team, at least until Snadra returns, who immediately sets up a big power cast. Stowaway, as we were saying, does not have sufficient damage to finish this with 1 score, but does still hit the mark, and hit for 20 at that, with a throw. So Anor still at full strength, and now could score with anyone and still finish the job, and there is the winning throw. GG.
Or you could say they managed to avoid defeat. The rite is done.
All right, well played. I mean, clearly the stowaway is on this winning page because she was using the best raiments on the downside. She was taking a page out of Gareth's style guide.
Until the next
His fashion catalog, if you will. All right, but unless we have anyone else in chat who is able to hop in here, which we did not previously, it was looking like we're about to head into our liberation rite here. So unless we have any last-second takers, I think that means we are switching things over into the Fall of Solium. Sermon intro on. And looks like it would be a Pyre Hearts, never to return in this case. No requests from chat this one. This will be our final run of the night, our liberation rite. So both players just finishing things off in style. So let's get going. Oh? Something else? There was a Duff request that we missed? What? Where?
Hades song.
Oh, that was one where somebody just barely beat Duff to the punch, didn't they? And we did the other person's request, but we never got back around to Duff's?
Yeah.
Oh. Is Duff still in chat? Hold on. I think he is. By the looks of things. Theoretically. I mean, who knows if he's AFK, but... name is popping up here. I don't know, do we still owe it to Duff? Do we do some kind of hybrid liberation rite Hades stuff? What if there were a liberation rite with a Hades song? How would that work? Oh, we could do, I always forget the name of it, but the like super duper version of the fun, yeah, Unseen Ones. How do we feel about that? How do we feel about doing a liberation rite with Unseen Ones instead of a version of Never to Return? I mean, technically speaking, that's, wait, I know. Ready? It's gonna be sermon intro. We're gonna have it on Never to Return. So the game is gonna think that it's a liberation rite, even though we're gonna turn off the in-game music and instead use TariqBot for Unseen Ones. How about that? I think that works.
It's gonna be weird if you start it during like the drafting phase.
I mean, yeah, but what else are we gonna do?
Just time it. Get Baylor to time it or something.
Well, I'm not sure if Baylor is still hanging around. Let's see. Also, do I even remember the Tariq? There we go. It's like this. Tariq bot, he's changed over the years. Is it the unseen ones or just unseen ones?
I don't remember.
All right, no clue? All right, let's try. I think that's right. Pretty sure that's right. Wait, hold on. I have an idea. Wait. I have an idea. Get that. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Now we start. You just might need to pick your teams really quickly, otherwise Unseen Ones is going to start playing. And if you don't finish this match quickly, then you're going to start getting this song in the middle of your Liberation Right. But anyways, we're going to try. We're going to see how it works.
Welcome to the fall of Sodium. Have you the fortitude required to prevail? Let us see which one of you is more deserving. True Nightwing, stand ready. Higher Hearts, stand prepared. Who shall conduct the rites?
All right, so this is, of course, our final Rite of the Night, our Liberation Rites. No requests from chat here, just going to take both players' favorite teams to finish things off in style. It's Nutrition Stick Volfred in the first spot for Anor. Prayer Beads Zoxiana in the first spot for Core. Alright, that's what I meant. It's gonna ramp up soon. I hope you're ready! Then a Meta Jody for an ore. Leeching Ignarius in the second spot for Core. Astral Eye on Tizo for extra damage for an ore in the last spot. Then Core finishes with a Super Portal, Webbed Lanthorn Messenger Rip. Alright, so here we go. Our final Rite of the Night, our Liberation Rite. Anor on the left representing the True Nightwings, and Core on the right representing the Pyre Hearts. Best of luck to you both.
for the Pyre hearts. Jodariel threw it in. Now then.
And there it is. GG. Well played, you two. And thus ends the Hades-themed Liberation Rite. Hey, you know, Hades 2 is coming out sometime soon, right? You know, it's totally what we had in mind all along. Definitely not just a coincidence. But that was, of course, our final rite of the night, our Liberation Rite. So thank you, everybody who participated today, but I am going to hop out of Discord and... Oh, wait. Perfect timing! Basically. All according to plan. Exactly. But, alright, let me bump these two out of Discord, but thank you all for stopping by. And let me just turn the music back on real quick, because not quite done with you yet, chat. As I was saying, that was, of course, our Liberation Rite, our final run of the night. So thank you, everybody who participated in the rites today, and thank you, everybody who gave us the request today in chat as well. This was, of course, Pyre Community Rite Night, which we are doing every Sunday, and if you're interested in getting more involved in multiplayer Pyre stuff like this, then the best way to do so is by joining the Rite Club Discord server, which you can do by clicking on... Spell that correctly? I did. That link right there, that's where we're coordinating all this stuff. My name is Lids, I'm hosting these Rite Nights. Our streaming schedule is... Well, Fridays is sort of a TBD because I'm waiting to get a new PC upgrade, which should allow us to get a little more ambitious and play some games that we previously were not really able to play and stream simultaneously. I think that Mass Effect Andromeda is probably #1 on the list, although I have just gotten an email earlier today saying that despite having ordered said computer 2 weeks ago, apparently they still have not even acquired all of the parts to assemble it. So we might be a little ways away before I actually end up receiving said computer, as it turns out. So that's a TBD of sorts. But Saturdays is Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, and then of course Sundays is Pyre Community Rite Night. Then also on YouTube, posting the VODs for all those streams. Lids there as well. Also doing some Gwent videos, the Witcher-themed card game, new events for that coming out every week, including this week, a new event that we'd never seen before, so lots of cool stuff there. Also, as I'm starting to get my voice back a little bit more, perhaps beginning to resume our Thronebreaker playthrough, which is the Gwent campaign, then I think that's about it there. And again, unless and until we end up doing some new things as my voice starts to get better and as we have more options to become available to us after that PC upgrade. But if you haven't done so yet already, of course, you can hit the follow button to get a notification for when I go live. And also follow me on Twitter @LidsVids. I post there when I'm live as well. But the best place to stay up to date on all things Lids is actually by joining my own Discord server, which you can do by clicking on that link right there. But that's going to be it for me for tonight, so thank you all for watching, hope you enjoyed the stream, and I'll catch you next time.